What is anxiety disorders? According to Oxford Medicine, anxiety refers to multiple mental and physiological phenomena, including a person's conscious state of worry over a future unwanted event, or fear of an actual situation. Millions of people around the world are diagnosed with an anxiety disorder during their lifetimes. And so many are looking for answers as to what has caused this medical condition, which can be quite serious. Anxiety disorders may develop due to stress. When you are stressed about something, you may find that you slow start to wear out. While our bodies are built to handle certain amounts of stress over time, this simply breaks down and we give in to anxiety, which can develop into an anxiety disorder. No matter what the reason, however, it is simply important that you ask for help dealing with your condition. In order to learn more about your condition, and try to pinpoint its cause, here are a few of the things that play into the development of an anxiety disorder. 4 signs that you might have an anxiety disorder. Feeling anxious every once in a while, and having an anxiety disorder are 2 very different things. When you have an anxiety disorder, you can become fixated on a thought or feeling that leads you down a rabbit hole of anxious thoughts. While there are different types of anxiety disorders, a common thread between them all is that it interferes with your daily life. Here are 4 signs that may signal you are dealing with an anxiety disorder. Number 1. Your anxious thoughts don't go away. When you have an anxiety disorder, you often become incredibly anxious in situations where others might only get a little anxious, like during family gatherings. This anxiety also tends to last longer and is more persistent. When your anxious thoughts start to impact your daily life, that's when it becomes an issue. Number 2. Your anxiety manifests itself physically. If your anxious thoughts are accompanied by physical conditions, like restlessness, fatigue, and muscle pain, among others, it could signal that you have an anxiety disorder. Anxiety disorders can lead to gastrointestinal issues, like heartburn, cramping, and even diarrhea. These physical symptoms are as a result of your body being in a constant heightened state of anxiety. Number 3. You can't focus. It isn't that uncommon for people who have a general anxiety disorder to be mistakenly diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. This is because when you have an anxiety disorder, you tend to have difficulty focusing. When you're always anxious, you tend to be in your head constantly, and can get distracted by the negative thoughts and obsessions rattling around in your head. To an outsider, it looks like you have ADHD. Anxiety disorders are incredibly common, as are many of the things that will trigger anxiety. For most people dealing with anxiety, they find that they have multiple triggers, while other people's anxiety attacks are triggered for no reason at all. If you want to gain control of your anxiety, it's important to discover any triggers that you may have. Here are the common triggers that can cause your anxiety to rise. Health issues. A diagnosis of a medical condition, like cancer or a chronic illness, can trigger anxiety, or make it worse. This is a powerful trigger because of the immediate and personal feelings that it tends to produce. You can help reduce your anxiety by being proactive and engaged with your doctor. Medications. There are certain over-the-counter and prescription medications that can trigger your symptoms of anxiety. Many of the active ingredients in some medicines may make you feel unwell or uneasy, which can set off a series of reactions in your body and mind that may lead you to experience anxiety. Caffeine. Your morning cup of coffee may be triggering or making your anxiety worse. According to a recent study, people with panic disorders are especially sensitive to the anxiety-inducing effects of caffeine. Skipping meals. Not eating will cause your blood sugar to drop, which can lead to jittery hands, and can trigger your anxiety. Eating balanced meals is important because it will provide you with energy and essential nutrients. Negative thinking. Much of your body is controlled by your mind, and it's certainly true when dealing with anxiety. When you're frustrated or upset, the words that you say to yourself can trigger greater feelings and increase your anxiety. If you tend to use negative words when you think about yourself, you need to learn how to refocus your language. Financial concerns. Worries about your lack of savings or massive debt can trigger anxiety. So can unexpected bills or money fears. You might have to seek the help of a professional, like a financial advisor, to learn how to manage these kinds of triggers. It can help to ease your concern if you feel as if you have a guide through the process. You are probably already aware that your emotions can significantly influence what you eat. However, did you also know that what you eat can dramatically affect your mood? If you didn't already know, some foods could worsen your anxiety. According to research conducted by Harvard Health, simple food choices can make a difference in how you feel. Here are the foods that you should avoid if you suffer from anxiety. Wheat bran. Even though experts have been touting wheat bran as a superfood, with its high fiber content and complex nutty flavors, it can significantly increase your anxiety. Wheat bran contains high levels of phytic acid. Phytic acid binds to essential mood minerals like zinc and limits their absorption by the body. People who suffer from anxiety need adequate levels of zinc to keep their symptoms at bay. Soy products. Soy products, while packed with lean protein, is also packed with protease and trypsin inhibitors, which are enzymes that make digesting the protein difficult. Soy products, like tofu, are also high in copper, which is a mineral that has been linked to anxious behavior. If you have to eat soy, get rid of the tofu and veggie burgers, and try fermented varieties like miso and tempeh, which are much easier to digest. Coffee. Coffee is one of the highest concentrated dietary sources of caffeine, which can make an anxious brain even worse. Research has shown that people with anxiety disorders are particularly sensitive to feeling the nervous side effects from small amounts of caffeine. Caffeine can also impede the absorption of vital mood-balancing nutrients like B vitamins and vitamin D. Whole wheat bread. For many anxious people, gluten is a sticking point, especially with patients who have celiac disease. Most non-organic wheat is treated with an herbicide called glyphosate, which has been shown to cause a nutrient deficiency of mood-stabilizing minerals. Apple juice. Unlike whole apples, apple juice is devoid of the slow-digesting fiber and are often packed with refined fructose. This results in blood level spikes that can trigger a flood of adrenaline and result in symptoms that look a lot like an anxiety attack. Fructose can actually alter how the brain responds to stress on a genetic level. Anxiety isn't a fun condition to have to deal with. However, you can reduce your symptoms and overcome your fear by avoiding these anxiety-inducing foods. Identifying your anxiety triggers might take some time, but it is essential so that you can learn how to manage your symptoms and hopefully, you can eventually overcome it and get back your life.